The Andrew Lake Podcast.
Now in collaboration with Acid Quote Tees.
Feel the rhythm now.
10,000 years!
All connected.
Good morning, America, and welcome back once again to the Andrew Lake Podcast. I'm hoping you're feeling fine, feeling beautiful, feeling ready to bloom. Are you feeling agile? Are you feeling acrobatic? Are you feeling immediate? Today's acid quote is, if every second counts, where is every first? This is so much to do with immediacy, presence, being able to be in what this is, this life. And of course, this quote, if every second counts, where is every first, is available on Etsy.com on the Acid Quote Tees shop. Head on over, there is a link somewhere in the description, somewhere in the show notes. And of course, I'd like to talk a little bit about this, if you don't mind. We've got a little bit of time together, no need to be in a hurry. You're not rushing off anywhere, are you? I hope not rushing too much. And if every second counts, where is every first? I mean, do you remember your first time? Do you remember the first kiss that you had? Your first job? Your first day of school? First day of school happens a couple of times, really, because you've got your first day of preschool, first day of baby school, kids school, first day of middle school, first day of college, and you've got first day of, well, lots of different moments in life. First car, first tattoo. Well, the thing about a tattoo is once you get one, you can't just have one. People often do get a lot more than just one. Tattoos are sort of becoming more, they're sort of more mainstream now, aren't they? I don't know at what point there's going to be more people that have tattoos that don't, but it's going to be interesting. I guess it depends on where you are and your demographics. Really depends on where you are. First time you had sex. You remember that one? Well, don't know if we need to go there. But these first times, these times in life that are maybe not so much as positive or negative or even significant, they're first times, they're first openings. They are moments that we really should have on the surface of our skin. They should be the moments that stay with us, and yet they're so deep and lost and so far away, and so much has happened since then. So much has changed. I mean, the thing that is definitive about a first time is that many other times when you do that same thing again and again, it changes, it evolves, it morphs, it expands your understanding, it changes in so many different ways. And yet, we also have this other side to this, which is, now there is also this thought experiment where you have every second that counts, yeah? Where you say, if we give you $1 for each second of the day, which is however many seconds there are in a day, $86,400. So if we gave you $86,400 per day for 86,400 seconds per day, but you had to spend it on that same day, then how would you spend it? Now, of course, the thought experiment is terrible, right? Because money is not time. And spending money is not the same as spending time. And of course, there's many different ways in which you can change the behavior of money and your behavior towards money to make it act in a whole different way of being and happening, and consequences and things that carry over and don't, right? So it's a terrible thought experiment in so many ways. But what it's trying to get at is this thing of immediacy. This thing of how every second counts, every moment of your life counts. Like every moment is a first time. Every moment is a first happening. And really, the thing that makes you feel that immediacy is doing the things that bring you into contact with the present moment. If we leave it to chance, then it's the things that we do for the first time that bring us into the present moment. But if we're doing this consciously and we're actually saying, okay, how do I become more present? Then there are certain techniques and there are certain things that you do. So, for example, I remember the first time I did dynamic meditation. It was actually in Australia. I had been listening to Osho lectures, lots of talks. And I knew he had invented many meditation techniques and I wanted to try some, and I had heard about dynamic meditation, and that really is his entry-level sort of start, beginner, gunshot at the start of a race meditation. And I looked up some Osho people in Australia, and there were some, and there was a festival on, and I actually went to this lady's house and we did dynamic meditation one morning in her living room. It was just me and her, and it was quite awkward because, of course, she did it really strongly. And if you know what happens in the third stage, it was like she was having a big sex, right? She was really going for it and making this big, loud sex noise. And I'm in this, ladies' room, living room that I'd never met before, and I'm trying to do this meditation and having these loud sex noises, and I'm thinking, oh, I hope the neighbours don't hear. They're going to think something's going on. And anyway, we get through it and we do it, and I'm quite amazed by. I'll tell you about my reaction to the experiences, but I sort of fluff my way through it, and then at the end we're sitting down and she brings out some cake to eat, and the rest of her family starts coming downstairs, and first her mother comes down, and I go, oh, her mother was here all along. And then, her uncle, and then her brother, and then another brother, and it turned out it was this huge family, right? It was something like 10 people. And they had all been upstairs while we were doing dynamic meditation downstairs. And they were very nice, like we had cake together and we had tea, and they, as I understood it, knew about dynamic meditation. They knew that what was going on. They knew that we weren't doing jiggy, right? So it was my sort of trip that it was this weird thing. And I mean, dynamic meditation is weird, right? You can't really do it fully unless you're in a dedicated space in a group of people, which of course I then went on to do at a proper festival, and I did it many times when I went to India, and that was actually one of the drawing cards of me wanting to go to India, because when I did it this first time in this lady's room, I was so shocked by how much it changed my feeling throughout the rest of that day and in the coming days. It broke apart so much within me. Because first of all, it gave me this amazing feeling. It gave me this ecstasy. It gave me this high. But second of all, it showed me the things that were within me that were stuck, and it broke them into chunks. And over the few days after I had done dynamic meditation, I could see my behaviors differently. I could witness how I was acting in a different way. I could see that I was doing something physically with my body. And I was like, why do I do this? I've been stuck in this. I don't need to do this. And therefore, I could actually change it. And I did actually go back and meet with that lady again. She was doing it once a week, I think, for a short time in her lounge room. And sometimes there would be a few other people. There might be, 4 or 5 people, but it was like once a week I could do dynamic meditation, and it was so powerful. It opened up so much. It's just a 1-hour meditation, and it changed so much throughout my entire week. And it changed so much that I kept thinking, my God, what would happen if I did this every single day? What would happen if it happened again and again and again? How much immediacy would I feel? How much presence would I come into contact with? And of course, the rest is the story of my life, right? The rest of the story is that, well, eventually, I did actually go to India, and I went to Osho's meditation resort that he has in Pune now. And there, meditation runs, because dynamic meditation runs every day, and I have done it almost as much as anyone, right? Longest stretch would have been 90 days in a row, every day for 90 days in a row, but I've also done 45 days, 30 days, 3 weeks. Sometimes I've just done it for 10 days, but depends on where I'm at. But I've done a lot of dynamic meditation in my time, along with many other meditations. And along with the awareness techniques and the awareness intensives, it's been absolutely amazing to be a part of that world and to actually come into like this thing of feeling that every second counts. Yeah? That's what all these techniques do. That's what this meditation process does. It allows you to feel the immediacy of the moment. And it changes how you feel in a new environment, in a new situation. One of the things that has been an absolute foundational lesson that I've learnt through all this is sensing how a first time feels. And this is big in so many ways, because when you're in an environment for the first time, new environment, new situation, there's always a nervousness. There's an inherent nervousness about it because you're sussing things out and you're on an edge. But the thing is, if you live with putting yourself into more and more new environments again and again, and different environments, vastly different environments, different countries, different situations, different challenges, then that nervousness starts to evolve, it starts to change. And I've been very lucky to have been able to learn by being in so many different new situations how it feels when something feels right. Now, I'm actually in a new situation now at my point in my life. As I'm talking to you now, I'm facing this. And one of the things that I'm looking for is I'm looking for a place where I can teach Tai Chi. So I want to establish my own Tai Chi class. And this has been, since I've been learning Tai Chi for years and years, and I've done all that I've done in India and in Australia. And part of that has been, okay, well, I need to go to a place and try and see if this is the right place. And I've done this where I've gone to a place and I've done some Tai Chi and I've sensed how it felt. And there's a couple of things you need for Tai Chi. You sort of need shelter, you need a cover, you need a flat ground, you need some trees around. Ideally, you want it to be in nature. You want it to be, if you want people to come to your class, somewhere that it's easy access, right? So you need a car park. You need it to be somewhere that people walk and it's naturally a sort of public place or an indoor place. And anyway, I've been to certain places where I've been to the spot and I've done some Tai Chi and I've sensed how do I feel about it. And I've come to this new city and I've actually gone to this place, and just yesterday, I found the spot. I found it. And this was after many different places that I'd tried, right? And I'd even been on the phone to a couple of places of hiring a hall or getting some community centre or somewhere, right? I'd even talked to people on the phone and said, well, what do you think about this place or this place? And one lady had said, oh, why don't you just try down at the park somewhere? So I'd actually gone down to this park by this duck pond. And if you know me, you know I like being near the duck pond. So I went to the duck pond and then I walked around and I was like, okay, so it's on grass and it's outdoors, but it could work, but it's not entirely ideal. And then I kept walking around this park, brand new park that, oh, hang on. Is this security? No, we're all right. It's not security. I should probably keep an eye on the time, though. We got a few minutes left. Let's wrap up this story. So basically, I walked through this park, and as soon as I saw the spot, I walked out into the middle of it. It's just this perfect flat spot under cover with trees. It just was like, this is perfect. This is just like the resonance, the beauty of just being like, this feels absolutely incredible. This is the most perfect place. So it just felt so enlivening to be realizing that the place that I can do this Tai Chi class is the right place. And I'm so glad that I took the time to go to all the other places, and I look back on all the other places and I realize now, those places didn't feel right. I knew they weren't 100% right. And I know that this place is right. I know that this feels energetically so right. And that is a question of seeing how every second counts. Every first time counts, and every second counts. And that's why this is the quote of the day. If every second counts, where is every first? Where is your first time? The first time is in the second that counts for you right now. And of course, this applies to this conversation right here, which is what I'm having with you right now. I've been waiting to have this conversation with you. I've been waiting to say these words. I've been waiting for the time when I can speak this voice with the confidence that I have, with the realness, with the rawness. There have been times where I have tried, and I have even wanted to force myself at times. And I know it hasn't been right. At those times, I wasn't ready. And of course, in the past, we have spoken. Yeah, this podcast has been around for years now. This is actually the second version of it. This format, as you know, for anyone who used to listen, knows that this is a new format. And I had to take years off. I had to work through some things. I had to be on my journey. And I had many dark chapters. It had many challenges. And I'm not saying I'm liberated, nothing of the sort. Yeah? It is just that I can contend with the darkness. I can contend with my pain. I can acknowledge my hurt and say that I choose to live in a present way, in a way that makes every second count, in a way that exalts this acid quote of the day. Yeah? So yes, it's on a t-shirt, and yes, you can get it from Etsy.com on the Acid Quote Tees shop on the page, which will be a link in the description. But then also, just remember that this quote, this merchandise, is a product of this journey that we are on. And that journey is the journey of becoming present, of resonating in those moments which are the first times, of resonating in the moments when you find something that feels right. And this conversation right here feels right. And that's why I always say, that's why I have to say it. I have to say it. I love you. I love you. I just feel the love. I just want to send it out there. So have a beautiful day. Enjoy your times. Keep on smiling. And I just wish so much good stuff on you. God bless. Go to the Etsy store. Keep on smiling. And we'll be back very soon with more. Have a beautiful day. See you next time. Bye-bye. See ya.